We'll build beautiful communities for the 1.9 million people. We'll build beautiful communities, safe communities. Could be 5, 6, could be 2, but we'll build safe communities a little bit away from where they are, where all of this danger is. In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future.
Yes, what Donald Trump has been doing is demonstrably worse than what Joe Biden has been doing when it comes to Gazans, saying we're going to make it the Riviera of the Middle East. Palestinians will no longer live there. Of course, they can't return, but it's going to be a beautiful real estate opportunity. They can't go back. We're going to put them in, little shanty towns. He didn't say that word, but, we assume. And yes, it is worse. It is bad. It is, however, not a new plan. And Ayman brought a little bit of receipts on Saturday that I wanted to remind y'all of.
One part of Trump's rhetoric that is rightfully causing outrage is his insistence that expelled Palestinians will need to be relocated to Egypt and Jordan. And both Egypt and Jordan have outright rejected that. But take a look at this Associated Press report about Egypt's refusal to participate in this ethnic cleansing. It quotes a Western diplomat who said Egypt rejected similar proposals from the Biden administration and European countries early in the war. The earlier proposals, the ones from the Biden administration, were broached privately while Trump announced his plan at a White House press conference. So you're hearing it there pretty clearly. The Biden administration proposed the same thing. They just did it quietly.
Right. They did it quietly. They did it with a lot of hand-wring and a lot of, this is a tragedy and how terrible and every loss of life is awful. But that ultimately the Biden administration, behind the backs of the American people and, not unbeknownst, there was reporting on this, was basically also trying to, ethnically cleanse 2.3 million Palestinians from Gaza and put them into shanty towns in the Sinai desert. Like that is the plan / Egypt or Jordan or whomever will accept, refugees, more Palestinians than those two countries have already received in the long history of the occupation of Palestine. So like it's hard truth to point this out, but it is very obnoxious and stinging when you see things like Representative Al Green filing impeachment articles against Donald Trump for his comments that the U.S. would take over Gaza. And you're like, okay, Rep. Green, I agree Trump should be impeached over these comments. I agree he should be impeached. He shouldn't have been able to run for president in the first place, according to the Constitution. But the fact that you got all this smoke, in addition to so many Democrats, both elected officials and elitists and media figures who have all this smoke for Donald Trump, they're finding it now, had no smoke for Joe Biden, is exactly what folks like myself, who once again libs, yes, voted Kamala Harris and tried to get everyone who's listening to my voice to vote for Kamala Harris, and you know it because people are mad at me over it, we're saying that this administration is not actually serious about a real lasting peace. They've said that Hamas has no future for Gaza, effectively buying the Israeli line, hook, line, and sinker, saying that Gazans and Gaza cannot exist with Hamas going forward. And lo and behold, it took Donald Trump's effing administration to come into power for a ceasefire to actually be signed. And sure, the Biden administration maybe was a third in that thruple of an agreement, but they had always been weak on this and always been genocidal, if not outwardly, covertly saying these exact same things. So Trump has less sheen, and it is demonstrably worse to have no sheen on it and to be like, threatening to rescind any money to Jordan or to Egypt in exchange for them allowing you to or helping you to ethnically cleanse Gaza. That is worse. But it's also kind of a continuum of the same stuff that we were seeing under the Biden-Harris administration, and sadly, not enough of a change from what we saw in the Harris campaign. So it's a hard truth, but there it is. So I'm glad people have smoke now, but let's continue to have that smoke for all politicians, regardless of their party, and especially if they're taking money from the Israeli lobby. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do it.